You women spoiled our
Well,
girls.
that's, to me, if you feel like saying something, you should say it as long as you don't monopolize. I said when I felt loved by my father, and I'm going to tell you when I felt loved by my mother. And right after I got out of high school, when I was working for Dr. Putnam, every morning when it was time for me to wake up, my mother would come into my room and she would say, "Good morning, Princess." I was the only girl at home. All of a sudden, I was getting some attention. I never got any before. My mother would come in and say, "Good morning, Princess." And I would always wake up in a happy mood because my mother she bought me a free white nightgown. My mother would walk into my room with a cup of coffee and say, "Good morning, Princess." Oh, you know what? You know what? That's not true. Anyway, but I can remember she would wake me up with "Good morning, Princess," and I can remember getting dressed, going downstairs, and while Mom was doing breakfast dishes, she and I would have a cup of coffee and we would talk. My mother never had time to listen to me before that because she always had other kids. Nancy was always having marital problems. Teddy and I were fighting like the devil. And Daddy and Mom were pouting at each other. So Mom never had time to listen to me. But all of a sudden, this particular time in my life, from about 17 to 20, my mother in the morning, from the time I got up until I left for work, my mother and I communicated. And I just talked frivolous BS, but it was so nice because my mother listened to me. And I felt loved by my mother
When
during
you were
that time.
16 years old, somebody called and said that about getting a permit for a real reduced price.
I remember that.
And I did not have the money, and I went and borrowed his Sunday school money.
Oh, for my birthday, you can.
So you could have a permit for your 16th
And I got a
birthday.
permanent, and I got a haircut once a month for 6 months or whatever. Professional haircut. My
And I was going to
wife.
get that money back out of the grocery money because you were going to have a permit for your 16th birthday. But he found it out. It was going before. It was all put back and all hell broke.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, anyway, all right, that's when I thought.
Well, I'm going to say mine now.
Okay.
When I felt loved by you. The time I felt the most loved by you was when Teddy walked in the room that time with the baseball bat and you grabbed it out of his hand and held it up to Everett Hazel and said he was not going to get your daughter. Now, I did feel pretty loved too.
No, they didn't have the baseball. They walked in and said, "What's going on around here?"
No, he had a baseball. I remember that because that.
I said, "There's a baseball bat out there in the yard. Go get it. I want it." And I so help me, I'd have knocked somebody.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what, if I could ever I wouldn't tangle with you. No way would I tangle with you.
I'll guarantee you that, well, you better know.
I'll tell you what, if I was going to tangle with anybody, I wouldn't tangle with my mom.
What do you think I used to get in the car and drive off for? I'll count to 3, your name is Bud.
No, sir, go.
In other words, I always thought of myself as a very sweet, spirited person. And now, he was there with the baseball. One of the ladies down at the daycare came in and said about Granny being so sweet all the time. And Kathy said, "Don't you kid yourself, that woman has a temper." I said, Kathy works with me all the time. I said, "Kathy, how do you know I have a temper?" She said, there was one mother came in here one time and made her mad. She said, "And you would have seen what she did to that mother." What was that? And then, did you do that much? That worked with the 2-year-old used to come in to play with her baby during her break. She'd get that kid all messed up. And when if the baby was missed, she said, "We could change this baby's pants. I don't like to change his dirty pants," and stuff like that. But the baby, she would have that baby, he'd say, "Here's my mama, and I'm not going to let her go." So he'd holler bloody murder, and just mess it all up for us. And so one time when she did that and walked out, I said, "I've had it with that woman. I'm going to let her know it." So I picked this kid up and took this little 6-month-old baby over in the 2-year-old room. I said, "Patty, if you want to get your little guy all excited, you can have him." And put him down on the floor and walk back and let her have legs.
I love it,
And she
I bet you never did
That was after I had an encounter with her. And she
Well, I want to tell you something. I love you better since then, really, because I mean, I see you now as a real person rather than some, that sweet condoning everything.
I love you, Nancy.
I remember that.
Yes, and every now and then Paul's give her a hard time and say, well, Thelma, Morris, I love you anyhow.
Boy, and that's another time I get mad.
You gonna get it out now?
Teddy Ray, you're welcome to say something if you want, but you better spit it out fast.
You guys thwarted our growth. No.
Well, see, if they'd have been girls and we'd have been the boys, Daddy'd been real proud of all of us.
No, do you have any idea how much abortions to fight?
Yes, no, Mom, you have no idea. I remember that was coming from the house and they told me, I want to kill him, I want to kill him. Teddy's about 25 feet ahead of him. He's already out the other door. I want to kill him, I want to kill him. And then blood's running down his nose and he's got a stick in it.
And then one time, Teddy was sitting on that big red chair, that was my daddy's, and I put it in the kitchen, and I felt so close to my daddy with that red chair in the kitchen. And Steve sat in there, pushed his feet up there like men sit, and Steve walked in the door with a gun. He said, "You did it again! You got my socks on! Bang!"
It was one of these little pistols sometimes. She thought he shot him.
Now you worry about it, that gray hair or something.
Every now and then, I made a chart and put it down in the hall in the daycare, that vacation time is the time for a family to create memories they will cherish forever.
This is a vacation.
And what was I going to say about that?
Oh, I feel so exhausted just in the vacation. I'm tired.
You 44 pistols, you got a real 44 pistols.
Oh, yeah, I don't know something. Sometimes it's in the night, and everything's all dark, and I think that's something one of you said or one of you did, and it gives me that nice warm feeling. And in talking about that, I'll have to share something that Marcie said one time that still gives me a nice warm feeling every now and then. One Sunday night, we didn't go to church, and he was sitting in his bed reading his book, and I crawled up there in the bed in my birthday suit, and he laid the book on the dresser. He said, "Between you and God, you keep me excited all the time." And I think that's, I just had to share that.
Why did you ever get back to reading the book?
I tell you the truth, I don't remember.
That's the book you told me you started reading one time before, and somehow you lost it. And
Never had a chance to pick it up again.
you probably forgot which book you was reading.
See, Tatum, I don't want to talk when he does get quiet.
Well, the thing that I can sort of make it short is that the thing that really has built my appreciation for Mom and Dad has been like I've been really contemplating and thinking upon what they've been through with 7 children, and especially when I came along, they were pretty well tattered on the ends, and for what I threw onto the soiled blanket, it has been brought back to me several times what my recklessness did to them as far as mental anguish and so forth, and the loss of respectability among church and so forth. This has really built my appreciation because when a little fly is bothering you, it's so easy to take a fly swatter and just swat it and get it over with totally all together, and just sort of, and this is like, for instance, in the Jewish culture, if a child gets totally out of hand, turns into a Gentile, let's say, they just completely, we don't know you, completely cut that child off from the family relation. And yet, always, even through the depth of my conflicts, and I could always look at them as a source of encouragement, when no one else would feel me instantaneously. And when I think about the struggles that they went through, and just like it was, that one experience I shared the last time up in Pennsylvania was Mom having such a struggle financially there that time the person would not pay up their rent, and different times that things that came back to my mind that I was at the time just flew over my head as a meaningless experience. As I see back now, it's easy to love momentarily when the feeling's right, but let me tell you what, you put up with 7 kids over a period in a marriage for 40 years. That's tenacity, and that is what I call love, and I appreciate your tenacity and all the hell you went through to bring me to this point, the impact you paid in my life. I am very appreciative, and I fall short in words. I really do. And this is one reason why people kid me, your marriage will never make it. Like at work, it's just a common thing. How long have you been married? 4 years? You'll never make it. This is one thing I say. I owe it to any heritage that I might have, and to those that like you have affected me, to hang in here at the tough times.
He's like Paul. He don't say much, but when he says something, it's worth everything.
Now for a recording this tape, just flip it. We had this on tape for $10. Just
It takes a lot of courage to be able to put up with 7 kids.
you better believe it.
What's she doing now?
I got some tapes.
Well, I would like to this whole thing.
Boy, you know, Daddy, I missed that last part of your talk. I wish I had.
And my daddy,
Mom and Dad are you not ready to
to do that over again. Sometimes.
The impact of
It was right before the time you said no, the second time was Laddie, and then you talked about when you got saved when you were 9. I wish I had that.
And I was there.
Then God.
Well, you know, this again, what you just said, made me think. On these particular impacts of
We're
love.
gonna get around bowling before you go to dinner.
If you quit in a relationship just because
We go tonight.
to a particular impact of love, then our life is that much void, whatever that impact of love is.
What'd you say now? You quit?
With these impacts of love that comes into one's life, they usually come at a point. For instance, the world was in its darkest hour. Do you know there was all through the Old Testament, God met man. He spoke to man. Hebrews, the book of Hebrews says, the verse starts right off. That God had in the past spoken unto us through the prophets
At different times, hath in these last days spoken to us through his Son. I wrote this down in relation to that. At the point of the need is where you were able to love most of us kids. At the point of the deepest need, in order.
Yeah, God impacted. But there was 400 years between the last prophet God spoke to. There was approximately 400 years in the history of the human family that no one heard from God.
I know, I've never been able to.
400 years, and all of a sudden, wham! God impacted the human family with an act of love. And the other thing along with that act of love required a response from the human family. And that John starts right off. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and he came unto his own received him not, but as many as what?
Receiving.
Received him. See, that impact of love, the only way you get the benefit of it is receive it. And I'm convinced that so often in these marriages, many times, there have been times, as you kids will know, that I said, Lord, how could you have putting us together with, no two people could be so different. No two people, there's nothing we see eye to eye. There's nothing that we have in common. And just about that time, hanging a little bit longer, an impact of love took place. And it's been interesting watching that.
Isn't that true though? That commitment was the glue that carried you through to those times, because in other words, I don't love him enough to stay married to him. But I
You mean a continuous feeling of love?
I don't know what it is, but to me, the only reason I stay with him is because I made a commitment to God, not to him. And then I suppose I made a commitment to him, but compared to the commitment I made to God, that's really the only reason that I stay with him. That's like, and sometimes there was times when Marcy's like, when he'd do something to irk me, and I look at him real sweet and say, how do you know why I love you? And then he says, why? I said, because the Bible tells me to.
At that time.
Like they say, I love you in the Lord only.
That kind of love I don't need.
Teddy, we haven't heard anything. You've been awful quiet.
I'm quiet. No, I felt a lot of love from Mom and Daddy. You know, they had something at their house, made me like. So, but it's been rough in the last year or something, because Mom and Daddy were, funny. I thought was happy about last night, and they're also in their cultural bringing up, which the son has to accept, and anybody has, that they don't believe in divorce, they don't understand it, they've never been through it, and I have been in the same exact situation they have been in, such that whenever somebody has been through it, I felt like they would scum of the earth, or that that I couldn't understand why it happened, and they must have did something really stupid for it to happen. But after going through it, I'm